sadness, being blue, Brockhampton, word association. What a weird and wacky little emotion sadness is. I feel like any normal person, if they were asked or be given the choice to be sad or happy, they'd probably pick happy. I would. Personally. And that leads to the topic of the video. Why do we actively go out of our way to listen to sad music? It's not like Pitbull and Pharrell don't exist. It's not like there's a drought of happy music. It makes me think, why do we go out of our way to indulge in depressive works? And what's the subconscious reason people go out of their way, me included, to listen to music that makes you cry? Well, would you look at the time? It's everyone's favorite. A super duper quick disclaimer. Trust me, I don't like saying it as much as you don't like hearing it. But to be completely artistically fulfilled, I will be playing the snippets of songs that I discuss in this video. Meaning I take a hit monetization-wise to make the video I want to make. So if you find yourself enjoying this video, consider subscribing. We're almost at 100,000 subscribers. Or if you would like to contribute more monetarily, Patreon is $5 for some cool stuff. I review a song you submit every single month. That's pretty cool. Or you could get some merch at catchingbigfish.store. All those ways allow me to keep making videos as unimpeded as possible. Thanks. I originally had this topic in mind like over a year ago. I even went as so far to sneak it in as one of the last questions when I did street interviews back in like January of 2024.
Do you listen to music that makes you cry?
Yeah, I do.
But it kind of ended up complicating the whole video, so I just didn't really explore it all that much more. But that's always been like a little egg in the back of my head, just ready to hatch at a moment's notice. And what ended up re-sparking that idea, cracking that egg, was Shocker, an album release. Not just any release, but a release from one of my favorite artists that I've been waiting for like 6 years for. Sable fABLE by Iver. Boy, do I love me some Iver. Really enjoy his first two albums. One so much so I featured it in a previous video. I, is a sleeper hit that is criminally underrated in their discography. And 20 to a Million. So when I heard rumblings of a new Iver album this year, I was ecstatic. More gorgeous, haunting, and giant soul-crushing folktronica despair could be the move. Yo, what's up? The first single is a artsy pop song? What happened? Yeah, spoiler alert for anyone who's waiting for the DVD instead of going to the theaters. fABLE is a happy Iver album. Not saying that's a bad thing, inherently. This is coming from the guy who bought the record the day it came out, sat on his couch, listened to it 3 times, and had his jaw literally drop at the guitar solo on day 1. I actually really like the album. Barring any fierce competition, maybe album of the year, who is to say? The whole situation got me thinking, like, Mr. Sad, Mr. Isolated Cabin, Mr. Skinny Love is making happy music. That was just so fascinating to me. Why such a drastic shift from an emotion and a sound so synonymous with one's career and biggest hits? Thankfully for me, he went on a little press junket for this album, and he answered a lot of my questions.
You don't have Iver unless you're miserable.
Yeah, or something, yeah. I think I did get sick. And not just sick of it, I think I became sick. I saw a friend who was actually sick in the crowd, and I locked eyes with him, and I started weeping, you know? People were cheering for encouragement, but they were also like, this is what we came here for.
Yeah, we're watching this man break down.
I'm so glad we came to this show.
And I think that's what they were looking for. Ran that vehicle to its kind of death right then and there, and I was like, I got to really observe and notice what's going on. People are telling you you're one of these great artists and everything. It's like, it's validating, it makes you feel good. You wonder if like, am I a snake eating its own tail? Am I just like staying sad? Am I hurting myself
in order
to get that validation
and to make more music that people can relate to on this level?
Exactly. And that's sort of what the sABLE thing's about. It's like, stay in the darkness, young man.
You know, immense strain on your well-being and emotional health is a good a reason as any to try and find a lighter moment in a darker discography. Hearing him speak in interviews about his past creative process, about how he was almost compelled, he had this compulsion to create sad music, made me reflect as a consumer and creative who also finds himself leaning in that compulsion of my consumption and creation, like the title of the video, like scroll down. That's why I bring it up at all. It begs the question even further. Why is creating and listening to emotionally distressing music something we have a compulsion to do when it causes pain? So before we venture any further down this windy road, how about we all get on the same page? And don't be alarmed when I suddenly have clear skin in the next 2 seconds. What makes a song sad? Pretty abstract concept, right? Well, don't worry. As a man who can barely read or do the simplest of math, if anything, I'm overqualified for this subject. A sad song is any song that makes you sad. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. See you next week. But what makes different people sad is unique to them. But if we were to generalize a sad song, it would usually be one of these three. The lyrics being sad, the instrumental being sad, or, as I like to call it, the double whammy. Some songs present themselves sonically as a happy-go-lucky summertime bop, something you will sing until the cows return home. However, a deeper look into what is being said over this shimmering summertime instrumental can reveal that the song is secretly a bummer. Literally just talked about the new Bon Iver. Super fun, everything is peaceful love on fABLE. But a deeper look into the lyrics tell the story of kind of coping with a failing relationship, feeling and seeing it crumble in your hands and before your eyes, while either obliviously or maybe intentionally sugarcoating it with poppy melodies and Jim E. Stack's production. But one of my favorite examples of super fun instrumental but like super intensely dark lyrics is from my favorite album, Everything Everything's Get to Heaven, and coincidentally, the title track. Get to Heaven could easily play and chart on pop radio. Upbeat, fun, summery, sonically it's a bright song. But the lyrics, holy shit. It paints a picture of a dystopian, apocalyptic, end-of-the-world hellscape. People dying in the streets, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. And the protagonist's biggest worry is, where did I park my car? I hear them praying. We can get to that heaven. There's bodies in the road. We can get to that heaven, where nothing else will grow. Lunatic in my bathroom. I'm thinking, what was my password? As the vultures land. Now see, if I put like some scary horror movie strings over that, like I just did, that's like some horror movie shit. But no, we got, Summertime Bob, Brat Summer before it was. That's not a I, that's a U. I can do cursive and I can't spell. Beating the allegations. Some songs are more emotionally potent if the instrumental is carrying the weight. I will be weird for a second. I am prepared. I personally think instruments speak. Stay with me. Tones of sound have emotion. So for me, an instrumental can carry a lot of emotional weight. Almost like a blank canvas. The absence of lyrics allows you to project literally anything onto it, a self-insert. An album I revisit every once in a while when I have the stomach for it is Silver Mount Zion's He Has Left Us Alone, but Shafts of Light Sometimes Grace the Corner of Our Rooms. I talked about it a long-ass time ago on the channel, but still to this day it carries such weight, even after the first and multiple subsequent listens, solely off the instrumental genius. Angelic and simultaneously monstrous orchestral walls mixed with chilling icy synths and sound work just leave me in awe of its size. This album just feels large to me. A really incredible listen all the way through that I return to every once in a while. And if you're learning about this for the first time and at all you seem interested, I would highly recommend checking it out. Now, sometimes you get both. The crushing instrumental continues that empty canvas effect, but attach some life-imitating art lyrics, it becomes a paint-by-numbers artwork that can leave you in shambles. No abstract concepts, just, shit, this isn't okay. They're literally me. Something about that collision of emotions can just break you down to your core. Every once in a while, I remember how fucking awesome Jeff Buckley is and how incredible Grace is. A textbook emotionally crushing album. Stunning, gorgeous, impactful, sometimes punchy, but delicate, like holding porcelain. The alt-rock balladry over Jeff Buckley's, dare I say, perfect vocals attached to soul-piercing storytelling are just unmatched. Ultimate breakup album, probably. An incredible listen that if you have been so unfortunate as to not hear up into this point, I highly, highly, highly recommend you check it out. Rest in peace to Jeff Buckley. I think everyone should have that one album that really, really gets you. Your record that you can turn to soundtrack your not-so-bright moments. I think it's important to have an album like that. You can't be a 365 party girl 24/7. Like, even Brat, my fucking point, like, even Brat had introspective moments on it. The point I'm getting at here is having your go-to favorite sad album is, in my opinion, necessary. Bon Iver 20 to a Million. I first listened to 20 to a Million a few years ago, when the extent of my Bon Iver enjoyment was, he's pretty aight. But ever since then, it unknowingly planted a seed that would continue to blossom into what has become one of my favorite albums of all time. It is a 10. For me, that's big. I got like 5 of them. Or I guess 4. We don't talk about that one guy anymore. The reason I bring that up at all is only a few albums have really affected me in that way enough that I can consider it perfect, or perfect to me. And 20 to a Million is just that. Bon Iver is Justin Vernon, and Justin Vernon is Bon Iver. Not a completely unknown name if you kind of frequent this channel. Multiple name drops and previously mentioned large portions of videos dedicated to the Wisconsinite. Anyone who's unfamiliar, don't really recognize the name, I would bargain to say you've heard a Bon Iver song before. Most likely Skinny Love or like Holocene maybe. He did a song for Twilight, that's pretty funny. And he featured on a song for like a small Pennsylvania country artist named Taylor Swift on Exile and Evermore. To say Justin has been around really polishing and taking this DIY folksy music to the mainstream. But 2016 would see him take a leap into the large and relatively unknown, sprinkling heavy electronics into his music and pulling off, it's kind of a meme now, but the greatest left turn in music history. But maybe there's a point to that one. To that one I see. There's some wacky shit on there that the folksy guitar people, I'm sure they hated. But it was all for self-expression.
I think it's that thing of wanting to bash things apart a little bit and to break through some stuff. I needed it to sound a little radical for me to feel good, I guess, about putting something out in the world.
20 to a Million sounds rebellious to me. Weird, let me explain. A lot of this production is very lo-fi, like it was snuck onto the record, like muddy, like it's not super professionally cleaned. It was snuck on there, like I'm not supposed to be hearing it. He credits the musical instrument, the OP1, for really opening his mind and showing him the production techniques that are capable on this album.
It mostly had to do with this instrument, the OP1. The way that it sampled things, it's basically like a Casio SK1 meets like a little miniature MPC. You can just kind of be sitting around anywhere and sample the radio or your breathing or something, and you can make a song out of it. And so I think a lot of moments on the record came from using that particular instrument.
I think the first track is just the perfect encapsulator for the sound change. The harrowing atmosphere and the production piece that essentially created the rest of the album. 22 Over Soon. Hearing that first vocal hit that loops throughout the song is like a dog whistle to me. Let's all listen to it together. It sounds so human yet robotic, which is the theme I'm going to return to in a couple tracks from now. The cascading guitars and the belting vocals really create this powerful yet subtle start to the album. As an intro track, it's perfect. It has a sad vibe, but it's also simultaneously optimistic, with the over soon mantra being able to be interpreted in different ways.
So I was kind of humming on the way home, like, it might be over soon, like if this feeling might be over. So I just got back and sang just some improvisation into a little sampler called the OP1, which I used a lot to make the album. When you chop up part of the sample, it sounded like it was too 22, and so it was like 22 is my favorite number, and I thought that it might be over soon is kind of a perfect kind of conjecture to that idea that, oh no, I want it to last forever, or it might be over soon, thank you God.
It might be over soon.
And almost like a metaphor for this album's shift in sound, the next track is a jump scare, I guess. 10 Death Breast. It's blown out, abrasive, distorted, everything I fuck with. 10 Death Breast is really a shock in the track list if you're not ready for it, with the super in-your-face drums to start off the track, but it rounds the corner to eventually have a more familiar sound. Guitars, horns, Justin's gorgeous vocals, not too scary. But so far, nothing like super sad. A little goofy, yeah, but The following track, 715 Creeks. No weird synths, no jump scare drums, no belting crazy samples, just voice. Justin's acapella vocals heavily bent and twisted into a live vocoded chorus, using an instrument they made for this album.
I have this friend, I saw him doing this thing with the Harmony Engine, which is a plugin, it's a long story. Basically saw him taking a trumpet line and there's somebody playing on the recording and he would just kind of play it and made it sound like a bunch of more of those. I just was like, holy cow, that is amazing. That's really cool. I was talking with Chris Messina. I was just, how in the hell could you do that at once? That was just me probably talking to him like, isn't that be cool? Let's try that out. And he's like, oh God, now I have to figure out how to do that. He got all the gear to make it work. I was like, we're calling this the Messina. And so that's what we do now.
Like most of the music I enjoy, it's not for everyone. But the nakedness of this song, the minimalism on display here, being just vocals and effects, is powerful.
Be unrushing, kissing on a night, second to last. Finding both your hands if second sun came past the glass. And
I'm pretty sure I heard this from somewhere. I'm not smart enough to come up with this take by myself. I can't remember off the top of my head, but if I do remember, you will be credited here. It perfectly sounds like a robot trying to confess his love and feel pain, actively fighting and trying to emote through this electronic distortion. Human emotions being shrouded in these electronic effects, like you're not strong enough to say it without them. Love this song. Such a legendary song from this album for very good reason. I know I've been going pretty track for track here, but I do not want to. I could talk for hours about every single song on here, but I want to keep this a somewhat reasonable time. So when the video is over, please, just go listen to the whole thing. 29 Stratford Apartments is the first taste of really subdued emotion on this project, consisting mostly of ambient synths, guitar and horns under Justin's vocals, and the occasional Mahalia Jackson sample. Which, side note, a lot of samples are used on this album. Most people think sampling is just like a hip-hop thing, but I really like Justin's take and how he uses samples throughout this album.
When hip-hops first started happening and people were using samples and stuff, people were like, that's not your music. You have to make a new same chords on the electric guitar. You can't. A piece of music sounds good and you want to use it in a new way. That's absolutely 100% legal.
But 29 Stratford Apartments is very introspective and delicate. Maybe not the saddest song on the record to appear so far. 8 Circle is fuck. This song brings that feeling of everything is crumbling around you, but you're still gritting it out and trying to look on the bright side. Justin's lyrics read like poetry from a jilted lover, being overwhelmed with emotion from what once was. This is the type of song you just lay on the ground and stare at the sky as you listen to. That part where this distorted vocal layering comes in after the chorus is just fuck. Maybe my favorite Bon Iver song. I've said that 5 times throughout this video. It's sad, but it's hopeful sad. And as if this whole album was building you up, preparing you for the final track. It forces you to confront whatever's left on your emotional journey, leaving no stone unturned. a million. Again, just minimalistic. Just the most heartbreaking piano ballad with Justin's wounded vocals and a gorgeous Fionn Regan sample. Like all art, it's very interpretive lyric-wise, but I feel Justin's more poetic approach to storytelling allows for more of a self-insert or projection into the atmosphere that his songs create. And this one did it for me. Everybody cries. Sadness is a human emotion. Not usually a pleasant one, but it's a necessary one. Why do we listen to sad music? I personally think it depends on what you're trying to accomplish from it. Personally, I listen to sad music to help me confront emotions that I'm not totally comfortable facing alone. Sad music during an emotional time acts almost as a companion piece. It really gives me solace in expressing that emotion. Like a nudge to the side, saying, yeah, you're good. I've been there too. On a less personal note, I think people seek out sad art because they're more complex when it comes to the music they want to consume. They want to experience the highs and lows of emotion through a creative expression. A super happy song is only as impactful from knowing that a sad song is there to counteract it. Like how rainy days make you appreciate the sunny ones. I'm very aware this is starting to float into cringe territory. Like this video hasn't been there the entire fucking time, but the point is this. Everyone's interpretations are different and feelings are unique. And art is there to express those intricate emotions. We want to care about stuff. We want to feel more. While uncomfortable, we find comfort in challenging ourselves. I think that's awesome. You might not know it, but confronting emotions like this is a sign of growth. Becoming more comfortable with it and realizing that's what being alive is. Exploring all types of emotions, even if they make you cry.